Here's Dan Shapiro to help you find your edge, master your process, and own your future.
Hey guys, good evening everybody. Welcome to another edition of the AccessTrader.com nightly wrap-up show. Hope everybody is doing well. Thank you very much for spending a couple of minutes of your evening with us. All I ask is if you could be so kind, click that like button if you haven't done so already. Come aboard, subscribe to the channel. Hopefully, again, I will continue to point you in the right direction. So let's talk about it. Look, I'm trying to be as, I don't want to use the word sensitive as possible, but again, let's be honest with ourselves, right? We've been talking about this for years and years and years. 99% of all market participants are long bias buy and hold traders or buy and hold investors, right? If I had to guesstimate, I've always said this, 1% of the general population that's participating in the market is trading both sides of the market. So I get it, right? I absolutely get it. I understand what's going on. I understand that a lot of newer traders that had a really great magic carpet run right now are almost like in disbelief. I get it. But the one thing we always reiterate, okay, charts don't lie, folks. That's the number one thing you really have to embrace as a developing trader. Okay, charts don't lie. They're not there to trick you. Okay, I see it all the time. People are always complaining when the market goes up. It's euphoria. This is the greatest market ever. When the market goes down, it is manipulated, right? It's not manipulated. It's not euphoria. It's the market. I've been saying this week after week after week, video after video after video. The clues are there, right? The clues are there. This wasn't one of those situations that the market had one day down and all of a sudden you became bearish. Well, the market broke the 50-day moving average, right? I don't think I've used the word buy in quite a bit, right? We lost the 50-day moving average. Every single level that we talked about, whether it was 716 on the 50-day, the 710 area that held 3 times in 2 days, the 686, the June lows, the 682, right? Literally every single area. And, you had the FOMC, not really anything, that stood out that was, bad or good. They left rates unchanged. There's always a window to raise and blah, 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 blah. But the moral of the story is it's not what the news is right now, okay? It's what the sentiment is. It is where we are structurally after an absolutely epic ride. I mean, if you look at the weekly chart of the NASDAQ 100, folks, we were on April the 7th, we were at 402, okay? At 402 on April the 7th. We're just July the 29th. The Qs went up to 750 and now they're at 660, right? So you can see how much room, right, there is still to correct. Again, I don't know if we're going to continue to go lower, right? I've been saying this day after day after day. I don't know where the market definitively is going to go the next day. But every single day I look at the chart and I say, okay, what's the probability that if we break the 50-day moving average, we go to the next support? What happens if we break the next support? Do we go to the June lows? What happens if we break the June lows? We start going down to the 100 SMA. What happens if we break the 100 SMA? Well, go down to 660. What happens if we break 660? Well, here it is, right? Here's your soft landing where the market potentially could find a little bit of breathing room, a little bit of a support around this 655 all the way down to the 644 level on the QQQ. So again, there's nothing I can do right now if you're an investor to make you feel good, right? What am I going to possibly tell you? We've been talking about these levels in nauseum for weeks and weeks and weeks. And the problem is most people, even after a really aggressive negative effect on their portfolio, they won't learn from this, right? They won't learn from the last time the market lost the 50-day moving average. They won't learn from all the experiences that will make you and shape you into a trader 5, 10, 15 years down the line, because right now you're in hope and prayer mode. And if you are in hope and prayer mode, again, what's done is done, right? You can't get your money back. You can't take back your decision making when the market lost the 50-day moving average. But if there is a lesson, right? If there is a lesson to be learned, if you want to continue to do this on any type of capacity, full-time, part-time, passively, right? You have to, even if you're a fundamental trader, right? Even if you are an absolute fundamental trader and you believe, you have to acknowledge that technical analysis is real, right? Go back to a couple of videos, and it's spectacular. And the most important part is the market is not trying to trick you. It's going to tell you what happens next if these levels are breached. So what's happening today? Again, you had the FOMC, you had your sell-off prior to the FOMC, you had your rally into the FOMC, and then you had this really disgusting, absolutely disgusting sell-off back into the close that the Qs literally went from 680 all the way down to 660. One of the most aggressive, right? Aggressive sell-offs you're going to see into the close. After hours, you had the three major companies reporting after the close today. Microsoft did very well, and actually the stock is actually holding up fairly well, right? Had a big spike. They beat their numbers pretty handily. Revenues 90 billion versus 87. Estimates they crushed it by about 50 cents per share. Their Azure revenues were up. Their operating income was up. Azure revenues surpassed $100 billion for the first time. So it's all good in the world, right? It's absolutely all good in the world. And then you get to the flip side, right? You get the Meta, right? You get the Meta, not so much, right? You get the Meta, not so much. Let me just go through the particulars here on Meta. Not a great quarter, right? Not a great quarter. Revenue kind of in line. EPS missed, right? EPS missed their third quarter guidance. Revenue 63. They basically matched their third quarter guidance, and CapEx guidance fiscal 26, 138 billion versus 135 billion. And the last one was Qualcomm. I get it. Starbucks came out as well. Again, Qualcomm, not a great reaction to the quarter as well. And when you look at the Qs after hours, despite Microsoft's pretty good quarter, they're actually down. Years ago, if you would have had a monster quarter coming out of Microsoft, everything would pretty much be lock limit, but that's not the case. So my question is, like, where do you go from here, right? Like, where do you go from here if you're an investor? If you're a trader, that's completely different. We've been fortunate enough. We've been rejecting channels. Let's talk about the pivots, right? Let's talk about the pivots. There isn't very much that you could go on, especially if you're trading mega cap technology and go, this looks really good. Did Apple have an incredible run? Absolutely, right? Apple definitely stands out. And that's it, right? And that's it. And this is going to keep this in mind. Apple didn't participate for the last year of the market, so it's actually making up for it. But, again, these are the pivots. Micron, 789, short, right? I mean, everybody knows where Micron is right now. Micron's getting absolutely massacred. It's even down after hours, another 13 after hours, just absolutely destroyed. Google had a nice pivot to the upside, 335.88. They were coming in for the zero expiration for today. We actually went to 340, actually a really nice move on Google. But this was a big move on NVIDIA. A buyer came in, and guys, and I always emphasize, when you see the options market betting in the same direction with incredible size, right, and over rebuyers, there's a really good chance, the stock is going to get there. NVIDIA, a buyer came in for 5,000. That's a lot, right? 5,000 of next week's 185 puts when the stock was above 194. So here's the pivot. 194 lower Bollinger Band is the 60 minutes. If it builds below, can see yesterday's low. Not only did it go below yesterday's low, man, NVIDIA got smashed. I mean, absolutely smashed. Trading down to 190. And now look where we are, man. We're back down to the June lows. I mean, this thing has more room. This thing has more room to get hit. This thing starts losing the June lows. This thing has further downside. Again, guys, keep this in mind. If this chart was upside down, right? If you turn this chart upside down, wouldn't you be buying NVIDIA, right? Above the June highs? Well, this is the June lows. So you can see, you can get a picture of what potentially could happen there. As you can see here, NVIDIA, ultimately went down to 190, but a beautiful move on NVIDIA. MU got smoked, and it's right now down to like the 720s. Just absolute chaos, in the technology space. Your guess is as good as mine how long this is going to last. Again, the investors' psychology as well. Dan, that's great and all day to day and fantastic, but generational investing has showed us that the market eventually will find its way to its highs. You're absolutely right. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that statement. The problem is, can you stay solvent before you are correct, right? That's always the question. It's easier to just say, well, I'm just going to sit in the position until the stock works out. That's great, right? That's great. And if you're long, like a Meta or an Amazon that still needs to report, or something that history has shown will find its way to its highs, then absolutely, 3 to 5 years, you'll be fine. But again, let's not kid ourselves. The majority of people, even though they could be passive investors, are knee deep psychologically, mentally, into the market on a day-to-day basis. And it's very, very tough to kind of convince yourself, well, I'm going to be in this thing for 3 to 5 years. Well, if you're in this thing for 3 to 5 years, then you don't have to watch it, right? You don't have to watch it. On the day trading side, again, my plan is just continue to short into any type of pops. The 60-minute supply, the daily supply, it's been absolutely working. Tesla has just been feeding families, man. Right? Absolutely feeding families. It's been absolutely destroyed every single time you say to yourself, well, maybe today, right? Maybe today the sellers will get tired and this thing will have a dead cat bounce. No, so far nothing, right? So far nothing. And, every single day, all it keeps on doing is taking out the previous day's lows and continue to go lower. Look, is there a trade if the market holds up tomorrow, potentially on some of these software stocks? Sure, if Microsoft could actually hold up, let me give you guys some ideas, right? So if Microsoft could actually hold up, I'll watch it, right? I'll watch it, even though like 99% of my trades have been just strictly Tesla. I've been trading Tesla like 4 or 5 times a day, literally. That's all I've been trading pretty much. But Microsoft, right? What happens if this thing takes out its July highs, right? Is it possible it could run? Sure, right? That's the whole point. Again, you're trying to, even though you're not trying to, isolate the standout, sometimes the standout is one of the kings of the jungle. So, Microsoft, if this thing can get back above the July highs, right? Can there be a trade there? Sure, right? Look at ZS. ZS also in that kind of software space doesn't look bad at all. Watch this thing above the July highs, right? Again, if Microsoft can take out its daily supply and start pushing up all the software stocks. Look at ZS, beautiful chart, right? Really nice looking chart on ZS. Shopify, that still needs to report earnings, is not that far away, guys. You see that? It keeps on getting rejected. It keeps on getting rejected at the 200-day SMA back-to-back days. Now, again, what happens if Microsoft is so strong tomorrow, it actually pulls everything up? If Shop can reclaim back the 200-day moving average, hell, who the hell knows, man? Maybe this thing runs up as well. So look, there's things to do, right? There's things to do, but I'm always on the end of probability, right? Again, the new trader will stand out and say, well, this stock stands out. I am more acceptable for the 10,000 stocks that don't instead of the one stock that does. Again, is Microsoft exception to the rule? We'll see what happens tomorrow. But folks, again, learn from your mistakes. That's the only way you get better as a parent, as a husband, as a wife, as a brother, as a sister, as a friend, and definitely as a trader. If you keep on making the same mistakes over and over and over again and tell yourself and try to convince yourself that technical analysis doesn't matter, well, then you're going to be a byproduct, unfortunately, of it, because it really does. Guys, have a great night, everybody. God bless. Let's see what trouble we can get into tomorrow. Hope everyone's doing well, and I'll see you guys tomorrow on the field. Have a great night, everybody.